The sound of a body hitting concrete was wet and final. Hiroto Mori, film student, had been shooting night footage. His phone captured every frame.
This is not a movie. That was a person. Did I just film someone die?
He rewound the dark footage. On the rooftop, a silhouette stood at the edge, arms still extended. The body was gone. Only her figure remained.
That profile. I've seen it in the news. Saki Aoyama, heiress to the Aoyama construction empire. And she just pushed a man to his death.
Hiroto ran. He didn't remember deciding. His legs simply moved. Through alleys and under buzzing streetlights, the phone clutched like evidence of his own crime.
This is insane. If anyone finds out I have this, what do I even do? Go to the police? No. She'd kill me before I got there.
He transferred the file to his laptop. His film editing software broke down every pixel. The clip was undeniable. Saki Aoyama's elegant hand, the forward thrust. It was not an accident. Frame 37 showed it best. Her fingers splayed, the man's body weightless above the city. A murder captured in night vision green.
I am holding the only evidence that ties Saki Aoyama to murder, and she has the power to erase me without a trace.
He sat in the dark, the phone's screen the only light. One tap could send the file anywhere. One tap could also end his life. He didn't move until dawn. The knock came at noon. Not a polite rap, but a fist against wood that ended all pretense. He hadn't slept. He knew they'd come.
No time to delete the footage. They'll find the phone. They'll find everything. I am already dead.
The door smashed inward. Dark suits, cold eyes. They didn't speak. One wrenched his arm behind his back and hauled him into the hall.
Daylight kidnapping. And not a single person on the street will look twice at a black car and a struggling student.
The car glided into the underground garage of Aoyama Tower. Private elevator, penthouse button. The ascent was silent. The corridor was lined with abstract art. Their footsteps were swallowed by the carpet. It felt like walking to his own sentencing. The living room opened like a minimalist cathedral. Glass walls, the city at her feet, and in the center, a figure in black. Saki Aoyama didn't rise. She sat with her legs crossed, hands folded, her gaze dissecting him. Calm, absolutely calm.
She's not going to shoot me here. That would stain the marble. This is something calculated. Something that requires me alive.
18 hours alone with your phone. Hiroto Mori. I wonder what kept you so busy.
I don't know what you are talking about. I was just out filming. It's a class project, nothing more.
Spare me the performance. You have footage of something that doesn't belong to you. I am not here to negotiate. Instead, I am offering you a way to keep breathing. This is a marriage contract. Spousal privilege means your silence is permanent.
Marriage. She's insane. This is a trap within a trap, but she could have killed me already. Why this?
Sign, and you live under my protection. Refuse, and you disappear. No body, no case. It's that simple.
And if I sign, what's to stop you from killing me later? Once you have what you want.
Because a dead husband draws questions. A living one is invisible. I protect my investments.
The pen was cold, heavier than metal should be. Hiroto looked at the elegant calligraphy spelling out his surrender. He signed. The ink bled slightly, a dark mark on perfect paper. His hand didn't stop trembling.
The registration will be complete within the hour. Welcome to the family, husband.
Within an hour, his duffel bag sat in a servant's room. Sparse walls, a narrow bed. The penthouse had swallowed him. Saki appeared at the door. She didn't knock. She placed a typed sheet on his desk. House rules.
No questions about my work. No entering my study. No contact unless necessary. This is not a romance.
Not a marriage. A legal cage. She bought my silence with a ring I'll never wear.
Dinner was an exercise in silence. 20 feet of polished wood separated them. The cutlery was louder than their voices.
She eats like a machine. No wasted movement. She's probably calculating how long I am useful.
After the meal, she withdrew to her study. The door clicked shut, the sound of a keebling finish natch. A sound of a keyboard replaced the silence.
She works until 3 in the morning. What kind of murderer buries herself in spreadsheets?
Back in his room, he stared at the ceiling. The city hummed outside. He was alive, but he'd lost everything else.
The footage is still on my phone. It's the only thing keeping me valuable. Without it, I am just a loose end. Day 5. She still hasn't asked about the footage. It's like the marriage erased the crime.
He watched her routine. She left the study only for meals, and even then her plate returned nearly untouched.
Murderers celebrate. They don't starve themselves over quarterly reports. This isn't guilt, it's something else.
One night he found her at the window, a silhouette against the city lights. She didn't move for an hour.
She looks hollow, not like a killer, but like someone carrying something too heavy.
The next morning, he found her asleep at her desk, cheek pressed against a contract. Her guard was down.
She's 20 years old, an heiress running an empire, and she looks like she hasn't slept in weeks.
He retreated to his room, phone in hand. The footage was still there, but its meaning was blurring.
What if I missed something? A frame, a detail. I never looked at the video critically, just reacted.
He transferred a copy to his laptop. The film software loaded. He would examine every frame, not as a witness, but as a detective. The video sat paused on his laptop. The timeline marker trembled under his hesitation. He hadn't pressed play yet.
I've been so afraid of what this clip means that I never actually watched it properly.
He closed his eyes and let the memory of that night unspool. Not the shock, the details he'd ignored. There, a flicker he'd dismissed. The man's hand clamped onto her arm. A violent grab, not a plea.
I saw her push, but I missed him pulling. The sequence only makes sense one way.
He opened his eyes, chest tight. The file on his laptop wasn't a murder recording anymore. It was a puzzle.
If that grab was an assault, then her shove was self-defense. I need to prove it.
He set the playback to frame by frame. Every millisecond would be examined. No more assumptions. The first frames replayed. The grab was unmistakable now. Bulky fingers, a yank that pulled her off balance.
I can't stop now. I need to know who that man was and why he attacked her.
He advanced frame by frame. At 24 per second, the assault was clinical. The man's hand wrenched her arm, pulling her toward the edge.
There, the shove comes a fraction of a second later. It's not a strike, it's a spasm of survival.
The motion vectors on the software confirmed it. The pull preceded the push by 0.8 seconds. An instinctive defense, not a premeditated act. He isolated frame 41. The man's face was distorted with rage. Frame 42, Saki's eyes wild, unguarded terror.
I watched this a dozen times and saw a murder, but the truth was hidden in the milliseconds I ignored. It wasn't murder. She was attacked. She fought back. She's not a monster. She's a victim.
He sat in the dark. The software's playback looped. The footage she had feared now seemed like a desperate cry for help.
But why hide it? Why the marriage? The threats? She could have just told me the truth.
The analysis was complete, but the mystery had only deepened. Saki's silence was a wall he needed to scale.
Who was that man? If I can prove he was a threat, maybe I'll finally understand why she's trapped us both.
He opened a news archive on his phone. The words Aoyama Construction filtered through obituaries and financial columns. The photograph matched frame 41. Ryosuke Aoyama, 52. Former executive recently accused of embezzling 3 billion yen.
He wasn't a random attacker. He was her uncle, and he'd been stealing from her family for years. That night on the rooftop, he wasn't just threatening her. He was trying to silence the one person who could expose him. She didn't just defend herself. She survived a man who was bleeding her company dry, and then came for her life. But if it was self-defense, why hide it? Why trap me in this marriage instead of just explaining? Perhaps a public trial would have destroyed the company. A scandal like that, The media would devour her.
He set the phone down. The pieces fit too neatly. Self-defense, embezzlement, a family secret too dangerous to expose.
I know the truth now, but knowing and proving are different. And if she finds out I've been digging, I can't tell anyone. Not yet, but I can't just sit here either. She's more victim than villain, and I am the only one who knows.
The morning after, Hiroto sat at the breakfast table without prompting. He poured his own coffee, met her gaze, and didn't flinch.
You are different this morning. Did you sleep well, or are you plotting something?
Just got used to the cage. That's what you wanted, right? Obedience.
Her fingers tightened around the cup. The air thickened. A test, and he had passed. But not in a way she liked.
I don't need obedience. I need silence. Be careful you don't confuse the two.
She's probing. She knows something shifted. If I slip, she'll lock me down completely.
That evening at dinner, the silence was heavier. Each clink of cutlery was a question neither would voice.
You've stopped flinching when I enter a room. Should I be concerned?
Fear is exhausting. I am just adapting. Like a pet that learns not to bite.
She said nothing else, but her gaze followed him when he left. The game had changed. Both sides now knew the other was lying. Back in his room, Hiroto locked the door. The phone's screen glowed. The footage was a loaded weapon. Dangerous to hold, suicidal to discard.
If I delete it, she has no reason to keep me alive. If I keep it, she might kill me for the threat. Either way, I am walking a knife's edge.
For a long moment he stared at the delete icon. One tap and the evidence would vanish, and with it, his only leverage.
Not yet. I need to understand her fully. Until then, this stays. It's the only thing that makes me more than a prisoner.
He powered down the phone and removed the SIM card. A habit from film school, airtight, untraceable. Tonight, it was a lifeline. He slid the phone into a hollowed-out book on his shelf, a cinematic cliché that worked. No one would look there.
Now I am an accomplice to my own silence. A voluntary hostage. But at least I am not a fool anymore.
The truth had reversed. He wasn't her victim anymore. He was her secret keeper. The power had shifted, but so had the danger.
Saki thinks she controls me, but now I control what the world will never see. I just hope I never have to use it.
He didn't sleep that night. The waiting had begun, not for her next move, but for his own. 2 days later, Saki cornered him in the hall. Her eyes were cold, her posture rigid. She wasn't there to ask.
You've been acting strange since you arrived. What did you discover about that night?
She's pushing because she's scared. If I play dumb, she might back off. I haven't found anything. I am just trying to adjust. This is all new to me.
Don't lie to me. Your eyes give you away. You've seen something.
Her voice was steady, but her fingers trembled slightly. She was holding on to control by a thread.
She's terrified. Not of me, of what I might know. That changes everything. You are right. I have questions, but I am not your enemy. I just want to understand.
Understanding is dangerous. Keep your questions to yourself, or you'll regret it.
She turned and left, her back rigid. The warning was clear. Hiroto knew he had pushed too far. Hiroto stood frozen in the hallway long after Saki disappeared. The encounter had rattled him, not her threat, but the tremor in her voice.
She's not just a cold heiress. She's terrified someone will see the real her. That fear is eating her alive.
Later that night, he found himself outside her study. The door was ajar. Inside, Saki sat at her desk, head in her hands.
She looks like she hasn't slept in days. This isn't the monster I filmed. It's a girl crushed by her own secrets. I can't keep holding this over her. The truth should free her, not trap her.
He quietly retreated to his room. The image of her defeated posture burned into him. He couldn't pretend any longer.
I need to destroy the footage. It's the only way to prove I am not her enemy.
He retrieved the old phone from the hollowed book. The screen was cold, The file was still there, a ghost of a crime that wasn't.
Once I delete it, I am defenseless. But maybe that's the point. Trust starts when you have nothing left to hide.
He didn't delete it yet. Some decisions needed the light of day, but his mind was made up. The next morning, Hiroto retrieved the phone. Sunlight cut through the blinds, illuminating dust motes. The device felt heavier than before.
One last look. I owe that much to every frame I misjudged. Then, nothing remains.
He played the clip once more. The grab, the reflexive shove, the fall. Then he navigated to the delete option and pressed it without hesitation. He placed the empty phone on the floor. Beside it, he laid a heavy steel hammer he'd found in the kitchen. A crude final solution.
This is the only way to be free. Not from her, but from the lie between us.
He raised the hammer. For a second, the world narrowed to the weight in his hand and the fragile device below. Then he swung. The screen shattered into a mosaic of cracks. He hit it again and again until the internals were exposed and unrecognizable.
It's done. No backups, no cloud, just a dead circuit board and a risk I'll never take back.
He knelt and swept the debris into a bag. The evidence of the crime and the proof of her innocence, both gone.
Now I have to tell her. If she kills me for it, at least it'll be for the truth, not a secret.
That evening, the dining room felt like a freezer. Saki stood by the window, her silhouette rigid. She didn't turn when he entered.
You've been quiet lately. It's unsettling.
Now would be the time to speak, but the words felt like stones in my throat.
They ate in silence. Each scrape of cutlery was a missed opportunity. He rehearsed a dozen openings, each failing.
The footage is gone. Too shocking. I believe you. Pathetic. Nothing sounded right.
After dinner, she vanished into her study without a word. The door clicked shut, a barrier he couldn't cross.
Tomorrow. I'll corner her tomorrow. No more delays.
Morning came. Saki sat in the living room, her tea untouched. Her gaze was distant, her guard seemingly up.
Her eyes were tired, but sharp. If I don't speak now, I never will.
He stepped forward, heart pounding. The words formed on his lips. Saki looked up, waiting.
Saki, we need to talk. There's something I've been hiding from you.
I am listening. Say what you need to.
He took a deep breath. There was no retreat now. The truth was a freight train.
I know what happened on the rooftop. I know about your uncle, Ryosuke Aoyama.
Saki's teacup halted an inch from her lips. Her eyes widened, then narrowed into slits.
I analyzed the footage frame by frame. You didn't murder him. It was self-defense.
For a heartbeat, the mask slipped. Not anger, raw, unguarded terror. She was the prey, not the predator.
You are lying. That footage is the only reason you are still breathing.
I am not. I destroyed it. The phone, the file, everything is gone.
Her hand flew to her mouth. She searched his face for deception, but found only a terrifying sincerity.
Why? Why would you destroy it? You had all the power.
Because I finally saw the truth in the frames. You didn't push him. He pulled you, threatened you.
That doesn't explain why you'd give up your leverage. I could still kill you now.
She's probing again. But this time, I am not afraid. She needs to see that someone can believe her without a threat. You could. But then, you'd prove to yourself that you are the monster the world thinks you are. I don't believe you are.
His words hung in the air. Saki's breath caught. No one had ever said that to her. Not like this, not without a knife behind it.
You are a fool. That footage could have set you free. Instead, you've trapped yourself with a woman the world thinks is a murderer.
I was already trapped. At least now I am trapped by choice, and I chose to believe you.
Her composure crumbled by degrees. Not yet a breakdown, but the first crack in the dam. The ice in her voice softened.
You actually mean it. You don't think I am a monster, but why? Why go this far for someone who threatened your life?
Because I saw you. Not the heiress, not the headlines, just a girl fighting to survive.
Saki's shoulders sagged. The armor she'd worn for years felt suddenly too heavy. She covered her face with one hand.
That night, he cornered me on the rooftop. He said if I didn't sign over the company, he'd make sure I followed my father.
He threatened her life. The push wasn't just reflex. It was the last act of a cornered animal.
He grabbed me. I just reacted. I didn't mean to. But he stumbled, and
It's okay. You don't have to say more. I understand.
you really destroyed it all? There's no evidence left?
Nothing. I smashed it with a hammer. No backups. It's just us now.
A single tear traced her cheek. Not a flood, but the first honest drop she'd shed in years. The dam was cracking. Then the tears came. Not a dignified cry. Ugly, heaving sobs that shook her shoulders. Years of silent terror poured out at once.
He was bleeding the company for years. When I found out, he said he'd destroy me, make it look like suicide.
Hiroto listened, still as stone. Every word chipped away at the villain he'd imagined, leaving a wounded girl who'd never asked for any of this.
It's over now. He can't hurt you anymore. And I won't let anyone else think you are a monster. Not while I am here.
You don't understand? I've been so alone. Everyone saw me as a threat or a tool. No one ever just stayed.
Without thinking, Hiroto knelt and placed his hand near hers on the cushion, not touching but close, an offering.
I am still here. I am not going anywhere.
Saki stared at his hand, then slowly, hesitantly, placed her own on top. The contact was light, but it was the first time she'd reached for someone in years. They sat like that as the morning light grew brighter. No more words. The weight of the truth had finally shifted.
She's not a villain. She never was. Just a girl who fought back and paid for it with her peace. And now, maybe, she can start to heal.
The sobs gradually quieted. Saki wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. A raw vulnerability left where the ice had been.
Why, Hiroto, after I trapped you, threatened you, why choose to stay?
I won't pretend I wasn't terrified. I was. But fear isn't the same as hate. And once I saw the truth, I couldn't unsee it.
The truth? That I am a victim too? That doesn't erase the danger of being with me.
I know. But everyone deserves to have one person who believes them. Even if it's just one.
A tiny, tremulous smile touched Saki's lips. The first genuine one in years. It wasn't happiness yet, but the beginning of relief.
You really are a fool. A brave fool who smashed a phone for a woman he barely knows.
Maybe, but it's the best choice I ever made. I am not leaving, Saki. Not unless you send me away.
She looked at him, really looked, past the hoodie and the fear, past the convenient marriage. For the first time, someone saw her. They didn't speak again. The silence was enough. The transaction was over. Something nameless had begun. Morning light filled the dining room. Saki was already seated, her posture less rigid, a cup of tea warming her hands.
Good morning, Hiroto. I wanted to thank you for believing me.
No need. I just saw what was there. How did you sleep?
The silence that followed wasn't cold. It was simply quiet. Two people learning to share space without fear.
Surprisingly well. The first night in years without nightmares.
Hiroto felt a lightness he hadn't known since that first night. The penthouse no longer felt like a prison.
Maybe I can finally edit that project. It's been weeks.
He opened his film project. The familiar timeline, a welcome anchor. The world outside no longer threatened.
I used to film to escape. Now I feel like I am finally looking forward.
The day passed in quiet routine, not as captor and captive, but as two people slowly rebuilding from fragments. Days later, Hiroto sat at his laptop, the familiar glow of editing software filling his room. His project was nearly complete. Saki appeared in the doorway, holding 2 cups of tea. She lingered, watching the screen without a word.
What are you working on?
A documentary about urban life. The footage that started. Everything. I am giving it a new ending.
She didn't press. Instead, she set the tea beside him and left her hand resting on the desk a moment too long.
She's starting to let me in, little by little.
At dinner, the distance between their chairs had shrunk. She passed the salt without being asked.
Your documentary. When it's done, I'd like to watch it.
I'd like that.
The evening deepened, and the city lights flickered beyond the glass. They remained, two figures no longer at war, but not yet sure what they were. Hiroto sat alone in his room, the cleaned desk bearing only a faint scar where the hammer had struck. The past was gone.
That night feels like a different life. I am not the same person who held that phone.
A soft knock came at the open door. Saki stood there, her silhouette framed by the hallway light.
I thought I'd find you here. The sunrise is starting. Will you watch it with me?
I'd like that.
They stood side by side at the panoramic window, the skyline silhouetted in gold. Neither spoke. The light said enough.
We never planned this. An accident of violence brought us together, but I won't pretend it's a tragedy anymore.
He destroyed the evidence, but he gave me back something I'd lost long before that night. Hope.
Their hands, inches apart on the railing, were still not touching, but the space between them had become a bridge, not a wall. The sun rose fully, flooding the penthouse. Some stories end with a kiss. This one began with a kiss. This one began with a choice to stay.